Nice. Oh, one more for Christina. All right. We did have a little bit of technical difficulty, so now we have a score. We can't do anything more about the picture during the match. It's probably as good as it's going to get anyway. And 2 more to play in this set. Okay, she called the side. She made that 4-ball easier for Kim. We'll see what she does with it. Okay, the only tricky bit is from the 8 to the 9, really. So no lucky. Well, she's not straight on that ball. She can see a little. Just a tiny little bit less ball. Maybe she's on the other side of that 10 ball, huh? It's hard to hit a tiny bit of paint. If she had made that ball, she wouldn't have scratched. I actually overcut it a little bit. All right. No ball, but not an easy beginning. Wow.
Say we throw it in. Flip more and then flip to the next shot.
That was wicked nasty. Whew. Wow. That shot's better for me. That was a great shot. All right, so that finishes this set with Kim Pierce getting 5 and Christina getting 2. There are 2 more rounds of this round robin, and we will see who's up next on the stream and get the party started. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, welcome back. We are now hosting Deborah Ahrens and Mary Kaufman. These two ladies are both locals, so that's nice to get a couple locals in the house on the stream. Deborah Ahrens is sponsored by Good Time Billiards here in Las Vegas. And that was a really good lag. Mary got that one.
Do we have a score sheet?
All right. Not sure what she was trying to do there. Good hit.
Okay, we're gonna get the next round started. There are tables that are empty and score sheets available, so let's get going. Emmeline and Elaine, table 23, please. Mary and Bernie, table 24.
All right. Well, my match just got called. So I'm going to go check out and make sure I'm not supposed to be somewhere else. You guys enjoy the show that Mary and Deb are going to put on. And we'll see how it goes.
Hey everybody, just checking in on the audio. Thanks for being here today. You're in, all the times I've played on this table's tricky, but if you hit it pure and true, you know, um, the table plays okay, but just joining here, the score is now, looks like it's 1-0. All right, really good 8-ball shot there. Really good control and speed. Got close to that side pocket, but nevertheless, really good shot. A little tricky on this 10 ball, but I think Mary can handle. Great shot on the 10. Deborah has 1 game in this set. That was Mary's first game. Just a reminder with the format, the ladies are just playing sets of 7 games. It is a round robin format, so we're just tallying up total games won. So these ladies have 5 games left to play in this set. Great safety by Mary. I think Deborah can take this too. Actually 3 rails. Swing around the 10 and the 3 and try to get where she's looking. Hit that 3rd rail, possibly even make it. She will have to be mindful of that 9 ball, so that's why she's zeroing in here and try to make sure she sees the angles really clearly. These diamonds do bounce a little bit shorter and sharper than I think we're used to. Majority of pool rooms still have a lot of Brunswicks, but we're slowly seeing a shift, at least here in the west part of the country, to seeing more diamonds. She the 9, excellent hit on that 1 ball by Deborah. So Mary has a shot with the 1 on the side. I do believe that 3 goes in the bottom left corner there. So she may have to take a longer shot on the 3. So not too bad, but that 4-6 cluster is a concern. I think with the angle that she has now, she may have an opportunity to go forward and try to break it out, but it's a task in itself already to make the 3. So, you know, striking it hard enough too to break that out is just making this that much more difficult, but she put a really good stroke behind that, and she did hit the 4 a little bit, but unfortunately just rattled in the pocket. Again, really tricky table here. And then the added pressures of the stream, and the lights are actually a lot brighter on this table than throughout the rest of the room, so adjusting for that as well as aggregates the problem. So tricky table here. I believe that 5 does go past the top left, the 9 through the top left corner. So, and now that nudge on the 4 happened, I think Deborah's just deciding if she's going to go right into it and stroke this 3 a little bit harder, or just play for the top left corner with the 4 ball. Looks like she tried to swing it. Oftentimes it happens. We'll try to play position, and it takes just that little bit of concentration off of pocketing the ball. So I believe that's what happened. Was Deborah was so concerned with going around the table to get shape for that 4 that she just took her eye off a split second there on the 3. Got a good roll out of it. No direct pocket here on the 3. I think Mary can see a sliver of it, though, to at least make a legal hit. All right, Mary's got an opportunity here to get out. Oh, too bad. She tried to get around that 8 ball. But it was a little bit thinner of a hit, I believe, and she had to spin that out a little bit. Every time you have to apply a little bit more spin, you always have to be concerned with how it's impacting your object ball. So I'm sure she just wanted to focus in on making that 3 ball. And didn't really think of how much spin she had to apply there. But looks like she can see it a bit to play safety. And watch the speed. That 8 ball now behind the 6. So I don't think Deborah is a jump cue user, so I see her kicking at this ball. Right. Yeah, I mean, I love that though. She tried to full cue jump, and you don't see that often anymore where people will want to use do everything with a full cue. I love that kind of old school pool. Your one cue for everything: breaking, jumping, and shooting. We have a guest here,
Hello, everyone.
my very good friend Nicole King.
So, where are we at right now?
I think it's one each.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I clicked something and I was updating the score. You're seeing new text in that corner. I have the updated score here on the.
Oh, okay. I
So I'm
see.
trying to see. Maybe you can help me figure out how to put that back on there. But sorry, we will keep you updated. Apologies for the visual change, but we will keep you updated with the score. So how do you feel about the format, though?
Well,
The game totals, and as opposed to kind of what we're used to, which is matches won first.
well, this is how the Division Two championships is set up. I know you can't play in that because you're a little, your
Okay.
skill
Okay.
set's a little up there.
Ah.
But so,
Well,
the way I feel about it is you have to have a different mentality whenever you're playing round robin, because it's basically like there's a certain number of coins in the bag, and whoever gets them first, you can never recover. You can never recover like you can in a race. So you're essentially scrambling for the coins that are in the bag. So there's 7 coins in the bag. You're only playing 7 games, and whoever gets the most games out of that, that's who wins.
I love
So
the analogy.
a certain pressure is created.
Yeah. No. So you're funny. No, but it's so I mean I have some round robin experience, but I think what I've been used to is that you count matches won first, so it's combination. If it's a race to 5, like let's say you and I are playing, and uh, there's a winner obviously because
Right.
in an odd numbered game situation,
Yeah.
4, 3,
somebody's
5, 2, right?
Yeah.
And then should there be match ties with the leaders, you then factor in games won. Like that's when you'll sum up the games.
Right. So
And
you're
here-
saying whenever it comes down to who's going to move on to the next round and how many points are, how many people have points that are tied up, how it's assessed or decided like who's going to move on to the next round at that point. That's a very tense. There's a lot of tension in that.
Yeah, no,
Seriously,
that
a lot
I've
of
never
nerves,
played
but-
it where it's just games first. Like the games are taking precedence here, right? So you could have been so
Points.
yeah. So games won,
Oh,
not
yeah,
not
right.
matches won, right?
Right,
So
right,
if
right.
we all play 6 matches, it's not okay. L won 5 and lost 1.
Exactly.
It's games only, and then actually I heard matches will then be factored should there be game ties. So it's
Exactly. Exactly.
flipped
Yeah.
then from what I'm used to. So
Yeah, it
and
doesn't really matter if you won the game or not.
the match, yeah.
The match or not
Yeah.
until there's a tie.
With games won, yeah. Which
So
so
you
that's
can
really
win.
interesting.
You could win like 3 games. There's 7 people in your pool, or 8 people in your pool, including you. You're going to be playing 7 matches. So if you win 3 of those, and then lose the other games, then you could potentially still not make the cut.
Yeah.
Like
So
it's
that's what I was explaining. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
when played this type of round robin format,
Mhm.
is that it really does help you not take anything for granted. So it's not, again,
Absolutely.
not that you do it in a match, not that you do it in a race, but it's even more pertinent that you take the extra 1 or 2 strokes. So I found myself getting out of pace because I would just be making double shore.
Mhm.
So that was extremely interesting for me to feel and to go through. So it's not fun.
Well, the
It's
thing, I think you really have to have a different mindset whenever you are playing round robin, because you only get what you kill. So if you're playing and you're thinking like, oh, okay, I can start out slow, there is no room for that type of mentality in a round robin race. Like you absolutely have to start out on point. You
yeah, I
don't
think
have
we're saying the same thing in
yeah.
different ways
I
because
mean, I'm
I was
agreeing with
saying
you.
yeah, I know that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying. That's
for
what I'm
sure.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Is and so
I co-sign.
it's just that yeah, right. So that mindset you're talking
Sure.
right and the toughest matches are usually the first 1 or 2 because you're trying to get used to the equipment. If it's environmental, maybe someone's chewing their gum really loudly, so it's you're factoring all of that in
Right. Or
to settle
cackling.
in. And I know, right? Hey, I totally forgot about that, so don't bring that back. But I did lose the extra by 1 game today.
What, what do you mean?
So we're moving 12 forward
Hmm.
because there's the top 4 of the 3
Right.
groups, but where they're moving us into a 16-player bracket. So the leaders of the groups are getting a first round bye.
Are getting what?
A first round bye.
A first round bye? Oh, I see.
So I missed it in our group.
But oh
But that
wow.
just speaks to what
Yeah.
we just said was
Hmm.
that you cannot give you give up you try to give up as least amount of anything,
Absolutely. And
right?
another thing is you're
Um,
watching when you're doing this, you're also kind of watching other people's matches because you're like, well, if this
Where's she
person
at or how's
does
she?
well, then I actually will move. I'll advance. So you'll be cheering for someone that you might be playing later.
Right, right. It's like Super Bowl squares.
Exactly.
I love football,
Exactly.
so I'm like
Yes,
I
Cowboys Nation.
hate. My father-in-law likes the Cowboys, so I don't dislike them that much. So I can get down with that. It's okay. No, but yeah. So you don't understand. Super Bowl squares, your intersection on the chart, it it could lead to the team that you don't want to win having to score
Right.
so that you win that quarter.
Exactly. And it's like, hey, look, we're not really friends, but I just need you to. Can you,
Yes.
hey, seal the deal on this, okay?
Exactly. Great shot by Deborah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mary had a
Stay steady.
she had a tricky back cut. That's probably one of the toughest things when Mary was trying to shoot that 10 ball on the top right.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and when you're feeling like we've been describing everything, it just seems that much more difficult.
Right. And
Right, so
that's another thing that sometimes people don't realize. Like, I've talked to a lot of people who think that playing pool is kind of just like this. Oh, lottie dottie, I'm just gonna try and make the ball. But there's an inner steadiness that you have to have no matter what's going on around you, and like that's the real challenge. Like your skill set, yes, you know, essentially everyone could have the same skill set, and what it would come down to is who has the eye of the tiger, like who is that true heart of the champion, who really has that. So, that's you kind of see that in this format, but essentially, I'm just gonna be honest. Like lesser skill players can actually have benefit from this format. Just because like a higher skill player can like miss the 8 ball, or miss the 9 or something, and what happened?
sorry, trying to update the score here for you folks. Sorry, we'll be right back. guys.
Is it on?
Test. See, we could have been talking, no one heard.
I don't think anyone heard.
Okay, let's do it. But really, I'm so glad you're here. I was pleasantly surprised to see you when I walked through the doors. So
Thank you.
huge progress
Likewise.
in what you've been doing. So keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're not as timid as I remember 3 years ago.
I can be.
Well, but we all can be. I mean, my stroke gets so tiny when I'm trying to be too careful. And
Right.
my best set probably was with Veronique, just 45 minutes ago because I would just let it out. So
Yes, and that was when I was talking to your sister before she started this last match, because there's a lot of pressure for her to actually like crush this match.
yeah,
And I've seen her play, and both of you are such great players. I think, of course, different playing
Thank
styles.
you.
But I was just telling her, like, you have to remember to enjoy
that's right.
and just be in the game and
Absolutely
not
right.
be in your head so much. And we always say that, but it's like, well, what does that really mean? Just like not being so subjective about what the results are. Like, if something's not happening the way that you want it, you really have to kind of feel.
Yeah,
This is a very, very much so a feel sport. So,
absolutely.
yeah, you
100%.
kinda let your feel kind of guide you and get into its own space
Like find it
without
again,
you trying to control and change stuff. Because when you try to control and change it, you probably are going to
You're doing
jack
too
it up.
much.
So,
You're being extra, right? Don't be
yes.
extra.
Absolutely. I totally agree
Just
with
let the
that.
natural. It's like cramming for a final. You doing that, it's not going to do anything. You just got to come with what you have,
Yeah.
and enjoy it. I was talking to Sharahola. Just be present. Enjoy the
Exactly,
moment.
being
Like,
in the moment.
don't
So
overanalyze.
and I think when you experience that, that is the thing that we enjoy most about pool, really, because being in that space and being able to execute, what your mind's eye see, it's a very gratifying feeling. Like, you're in this place where you're doing exactly what you intended to do. It's not a question, and you just let your body do what it does. It's just a flow.
Okay. Why? No, you're not. You're not. You're just with me, girl. There's 12 people. Who cares? Good. You should. Don't even. It's like we're just chilling, girl. I know I do want. Oh my god, I would love one, but I do, but it's gonna mess me. It's gonna mess me up. It's gonna mess me up. No, I should turn it off. We're fine. Nicole and I were just debating on whether we should get an old fashioned or not, but I think
Probably
we'll
not the best
save
idea.
that for
After.
the wind
So
down
we did a
later.
little push out here. You see?
And just an observation this weekend. Push outs, practicing the bridge, stuff that, our time's so limited, all we think about is just warming up and hitting balls. But I'm like, that's the stuff you should practice is like, but the
Push-outs.
push, whenever I think of that, it's like a dare.
Yep. Absolutely.
You're like, I dare you to try to do something with this, but opportunity to break something out and give them nothing. Like, I noticed that I was just doing breakouts with like not, shots that you don't want, but you can still see the ball. Shots that you can play safety on if they pass it back, but then you're leaving. Because I was like, I don't want to deal with clusters this weekend. So it's just breaking stuff open
Well, it's
But,
funny that you say that, because when one of my friends was saying that whenever you do a push out, it should always be a shot that you practice. It should always be, it should be a shot that you think you can do better than your opponent. But sometimes I will push out into a jump shot because I
Yeah.
know that I can't. Like, my jumps are usually, I'm 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm going to hit the jump.
Yeah.
I might not make it, but I'll hit it. So if I know my opponent isn't like that with their jumps, I might push into a jump shot
Yeah.
because I know they'll give it back and I can still kind of control the table. But if I push it out into like a shot where I want them to kind of think of, of course we're going to want them to like, maybe I'll take it, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
If they give it back to me, I need to know I can play a safety out of that or
Yeah. Yeah, but there's just the strategy we were talking about, right? So knowing when to go, knowing kind of like you're challenging them. I
Right.
challenge you to do this because I want to have you force the error on you and not on me, right?
Exactly.
So maybe I'll have a better situation
that was
after
the
this.
best
So
way that you could say that's the same thing as controlling the momentum. Forcing errors upon your opponent is like playing at this level, you have to know how to do that. Because if you're playing a really, really good player, you need to know how to get them out of their rhythm. You need to force them out of their rhythm.
absolutely. How do you break that? Like,
Right.
especially in a race. I know we're not racing here, but every game, if they ran out on you, well, how can you pump the brakes?
Yep.
How can you get the table back?
Put pressure on them because if you get them on 2 fouls, I guarantee you they're not going to be looking at the table the same way
Yep.
they were when they were running it out.
Exactly. So
And
good hit by Mary there. I
Yep.
didn't mean
And
to
she
interrupt
held
you
it.
there.
No, that's fine.
But good
she held
hit.
it
She got
there.
rewarded with not getting the scratch there.
Right.
10 is giving a little bit of a challenge for Deborah here, but she is a fan of a Message. She was hitting the balls pretty well with Message, so I expect her to kind of do a little junior Masse here to shoot the 3.
Would you jump it? I would definitely jump this.
Well, because we love you're
We
a
like
good.
to jump.
You're so good at jumping. It was like we were jump challenging each other yesterday, right? Back and forth. We are just.
I can't remember who I was playing yesterday, but almost
think it
like
was Row.
5 shots in a row.
No, I was
had to
playing-
do jump shot.
I was playing Row. I think you were playing. Who were you playing?
Darlene?
No, I was playing
No.
Dar. You were playing Row.
Row. Yes.
That's what it was.
I had to do like 10 jump shots.
Yeah.
It wasn't 10. It was like 5
Yeah, which
Literally.
is a lot actually. Because I think I did 3,
in a row.
but we were both no.
Oh.
Oh no. Okay, dang. What?
No, it's cool. I'm
In
not,
a row?
I'm s-
Oh well, no, but just like that though, I'll do that too. I'll be like, I might as well just shoot the damn rack with a jump cue
right.
because there's so many. There's so many, But
For sure. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
Well-
I don't even know how my jumps got as like where they're at now. One of my friends, he can jump a ball and make it almost every time. I'm talking about like jump, cut,
nice.
heart of the
Well,
pocket.
I know it's kind of like there's some conflicting
Views.
on jump cues. I know so in the pro, the positive of it is that it's totally changed the game. It's totally changed the game. And if if you're more of an offensive player, you've just added to your repertoire. Like you've just added another offensive shot with having a jump shot. But then those kind of like I don't know what to call them, like the pool players who are like, no, you should be able to do everything with your one cue. You don't need fancy break cues, jump cues. Kind of like that.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that school of thought, but I can see why some people would feel that way. I've also heard rules where it's like, well, if you snooker yourself, you can't jump.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty fair. That's like your opponent didn't put you in a position. You did it to figure.
I've never heard
figure
of
out
that.
yeah. And I think
Wow.
that's more of that's like a good middle ground.
Okay.
We could settle on that, you know, for the
Okay.
people who don't think you should be able to have a jump cue. Because if your
Well,
opponent puts you there, and sometimes they unintentionally will put you there,
yeah.
you should be able to use your jump cue. You
Well,
know?
no, I was just, I was just being devil's advocate
For sure,
here
yeah.
with saying that there are conflicting views. But to me, just like any technology,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to present itself over time, right? And I feel like those who don't favor it, they weren't around as much, 20 years ago. But there are a lot more options now, and I feel that we're fortunate to have as many options as we have now,
For sure.
even in Q brand.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's like you can just opt to learn it or not. And if
Right.
your opponent has not only bought it, because you have to buy the cue to learn it, what a roll there, by the way. Mary um, tried to pocket that 4, and it came back and it made the 6 and the 4 and cleared out a couple balls off the table. But in any case, if you've not only spent the money for it and have taken the time to teach yourself, because I also have friends alternatively who've bought it and can't do it, they can't learn it. So, it's contradictory.
Right.
Like but it's out there, and why not try it?
But there's definitely an art form to it. I think. I don't think it's like, ooh, ooh. I don't know if you appreciate that or not. So there's definitely an art form to it, just as with any other part of pool, and I think that's what I appreciate about it. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
necessarily just it can get you out of a position or
that's
whatever.
right.
You know.
That's right.
Because this is still you controlling it. You still have to be controlled with it. This is still you controlling the cue ball, and keeping it on the table, and getting it wherever you need to get it to. So it's not just like a shot in the air, or whatever. So it's all perception, and perspective.
No, that's it, and that's the thing is with anything, there's going to always be a multitude of opinions, right? And I think the two of us obviously have taken up jumping. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Me too.
You know,
For sure. And now I can dart. So
do
some
either
people
one.
know how to jump like
Yeah.
regular, how they would
Good.
normally bridge. So it's weird because I'm not a true lefty. I dart with my right hand, and I jump regular jump with my left hand.
Well, so, and that is what's unique to you, and you'll find what works best and what feels best. So, and that's one of the beautiful things about this game is I don't think not the same two people are alike.
Very true. And
It's
that's
so
another
awesome.
really beautiful thing about pool, like the different personalities that you see show up on the table, different styles of play that
Yeah.
you see show up on the table.
Yep.
And the game has really just evolved over time into, something amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
Me too. It's no matter how busy life gets, we're still around, and we're still able to
Right.
be with these great people.
And it's one of those games that
Great
no matter what,
rooms.
you leave, you come back, it's still here.
That's right.
You meet up with friends again, and you
right.
meet so many amazing people. Like, I love pool. It's great to come out and play, but it's so amazing to come see, people that I only see when I come to tournaments, such as you and your
Yes.
sister.
Twice a
And-
year, whatever, if I'm lucky, right?
And
I
it's
totally
just
agree.
like, it's always love. It's always like no time has passed.
Yep.
So
The quality,
definitely
not
develop
quantity.
long-lasting friendships.
Absolutely. 100% agree. I know. So Mary was smirking here, right? She got shape on the pro side. I think she meant to play more center table, but fortunately didn't stick together, and
Right.
she made a good out. So
For sure.
she's now got 3 games.
So the brackets are pretty tight right now. Am I right about that?
I think you are.
A couple of the brackets.
Yeah.
Can everyone find the bracket posted onto the page?
You got some love. Okay. Yeah, I hope. That's right. No, I was just. I hope everyone's been viewing the brackets okay. It's winding down, so we're about to get the results of the 3 groups here to
I'm actually
see.
about to take a look at them here.
Ooh, she's gonna.
Let's see what's really going on. 1 second.
Getting a little hungry.
You said that Vietnamese place is around the
It's
corner.
around walking distance. Oh,
All is
Janet,
for
we'll
it.
get that for you. We'll go ahead and get that posted for you in 1 second. Is it this? All right, here you go, Janet. I'm gonna paste it here in the comments.
We had a pretty strong bracket.
We did,
Like,
right?
yeah.
I mean, you can kind of with the groupings and stuff. You're kind of like, I hope she's not in it, or I hope. And it's, the draw's the draw, right? Like you can't really control who you're gonna draw, but with the format, it wouldn't really matter because you're being forced to have to play so carefully.
Yes.
It literally is anybody's game.
I think
So,
playing carefully is not the way to go, though, to be honest. Because when you try to play carefully, you usually don't let your stroke out, as not like you should. You usually make more mistakes when you're trying to play very carefully.
Janet, you may need to swipe left or right if you're on a tablet or a phone. Usually the comments pop up. I am on a desktop, so that's probably why I have a steady stream of comments. But there are a couple links there. One with standings from Krista. Hi, Krista. And one with just the results of the round robin.
Janet, check your Messenger.
You something directly. So let us know if you were able to get any of those things. We'll keep trying to help you.
So I was thinking, so that's why I had asked if the brackets were on the page, because I was thinking we should just go ahead and post them to the page, because I couldn't find the bracket for a very long time until someone sent it to me. So pay it forward.
Yes. I seriously, I'm happy that you do that because I still do that.
So the score is 3-2 right now. So 5 games played. There's only 2, this one and one more to play to determine. What does the bracket show for this match? Like what will this do for them?
Let's pull it up here. Let's see.
Okay. So we got Mary and we got Deborah. So Deborah's at 24. They're both at 24 right now.
Wow.
So this is
for all the marbles.
right. And Bernie is pretty much set in there. Marion's not too far behind. So this is going to be very interesting. It could be very interesting. Tara's pretty much set.
It looks like she's played all her games though.
Yes.
So, and Bernie's probably playing her
I
last
see.
one.
I see. But
Yeah.
even still, because no one here can get 6 games.
No.
So
they're
unless
playing
Bernie got
for second
7.
or third. And Marion
And this is
and
why it
Bernie
can
are-
move so much, because this is why it's this important. If you have one match that goes south and you were in the top, you can easily end up in the bottom,
Oh yeah.
because there's
Oh, yeah.
there's always so many moving pieces. This format is like crazy. When we played, we had 64 players for the Division II championship this year in February, and it was 64 players total, right? So there's 8 different brackets, and this was the format. So all the scrambling towards the end when everybody's on their last matches, and it's crazy. There's insanity, a lot of tension.
Yeah. Pressure's on. Mary, I think, was trying to be mindful of her shape for the 10. Oftentimes, I can't imagine how. You're welcome, Janet. I'm glad that worked out. How many times have you taken your eye off the ball you're making? Just being mindful of shape. It happens too often, right? Like.
Hi, Stephanie.
Stephanie. She's my pool bestie. So. Sorry, Steph. I'm taking interviews for Pool Bestie right now. Just kidding. Nicole and I we're elbowing
Still
each other.
have to. Stephanie and I met because
Oh,
we were
gosh.
both flying into Chicago a couple years ago, and that's actually how I ended up hanging out with you all, because we ended up taking an Uber from the airport in Chicago to Grays Lake to play out there in Shooters, and I found out she's a book lover. She loves books like me. She's a book nerd.
So see, now I'm not sure then, because I don't think Stephanie Hefner has played in Chicago yet. Is this she's originally from California? Because I think you're
This is
thinking of.
Stephanie Hefner.
Yeah.
No, this
Okay,
is.
just making sure. 'Cause-
Yeah, it's the same one. Stephanie, can you comment and let me know if I'm.
Okay. Just making
She
sure.
loves books, right? She told me about Powell's up in Portland.
Yes.
Yeah, she's out.
Okay.
She's out
Just
in
making sure.
Oregon, right?
Yeah. So why am I not recalling Chicago then?
You don't remember when we all went out to Thai?
Oh yes. Oh my God. My favorite picture. Sorry, Steph.
What?
You can drop me. Take
Nobody's
Nicole.
remembering
Take
any.
Nicole.
I'm collecting all these
Girl,
memories.
we talked about this. We talked about my scattered brain right now. I love that. That was
It's
such a
so-
fun night. Yes.
It was. It was
My
so
bad.
funny because I was so mad you guys left in Phoenix the other time because after the event we all went to the house, remember? And
That was fun.
you guys were gone when we got there.
Yeah.
Like Vanessa and I got there later, but we had it was so much fun. I'm telling you,
We're just
fellowship.
really good group of people, you know.
Fellowship, yes.
Forget if you have a bad tournament. There's time spent.
Mm-hmm.
You really do come here for the people, and then just the pool time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just extra, it's an added bonus if you should happen to be playing well too.
Yeah,
So
I always welcome that. There's always such good energy.
yeah.
So it truly does end up being a vacation, even, despite all the stress you may encounter during your tournament play.
Yes.
Still very, very rewarding.
It is.
So, yep.
Yeah. So ladies are passing this 10 ball. I mean, the stress is on. You can feel the
From
nerves.
the rail.
But good leave here. Not a gimme. I don't see a easy safety. You have to go for that. You had to go for that.
The pressure will make you do that, though.
I don't blame her for going for that. I think I would have done the same. What about you?
Absolutely. There's no other. The safety is the low percentage shot in this instance.
Yeah, go
because
down
shooting at that
shooting.
10 ball, she has to go for it. But when you go for it, you have to really go for it. You can't just
Shoot and pray.
you have to be serious. I don't care if I scratch or whatever may come out of it. This is the best shot.
Everything in.
And let your body do what it needs to do.
Yep.
So
Yep. All right. Final game of the set.
coming up here.
It's just going to add one, though, right? It's right here. That's the one on 3. No. Oh, you mean undo it? You think that'll take it off? Okay. Can you delete it? Right click? Or here, try edit. No, delete. I want to. Okay. What are you doing? Now it's tiny. I know, girl. Just. Or are you going all the way back? Okay, so let it refresh. Let it refresh. Get you all the way back.
We need to undo it.
No, that's what I'm saying here. Let's refresh. Let me refresh the Facebook.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if it. It's okay. At least delete the name. I think it'll go away. Just, yeah. Oh, went away. Sorry.
So how do you edit the scoreboard then?
Oh, it's on the. Is that the one you want to use?
I do,
Yeah, it's 5.
how can we can just change home and visitor to,
Hey, we changed out the scoreboard accidentally, and now it's just saying like new text. Can you help us?
oh, it's there. Okay.
Yeah, but that's why I don't know how to show it.